What it do? Boy Power Wow. Hey, shout out to my boys Anthony and Kevin, Indie Kid.
It's Indie Kid.
Indie Kids, welcome to Indie Kid University. Classes in session. The Indie Kid podcast is in full effect. Indie Kid University, where the cost of tuition is just ambition. I'm Kevin Jack and Anthony Fava, co-founders of Indie Kid, bringing everything that you need to know about artist development. Anthony, what
Yes,
is our
sir,
topic
Ski.
tonight?
Man, we got so much to talk about. I was trying to thinking, what do we roll with? What artists, maybe what they need to do to get booked, or what do you think about maybe shows in the COVID era? I mean, I'm not, what do you
Yeah,
think?
so let's touch on that. So shows in the COVID era. You're the long-standing, long-time promoter. So I guess give all our listeners and anyone who's actually watching the pod, give them, an idea of what they should be doing right now in terms of getting in front of people, right?
Oh yeah, man, I'm glad we're talking about this because as of right now, shows, are definitely few and far between. Nothing is conventional anymore. Now you're seeing more creative ways to see live shows. So to me, they're still going on. And if you are an artist that is trying to be seen, you kind of got to put your best foot forward. And right now, all you got is time. So, I always say, you should probably lead off with a good EPK, electronic press kit, so that way, you can have your bio, your links, any kind of press. You can have that all in one spot. So pretty much it's your one sheet. So that way, say I put it in like business aspects of like if you're marketing a business and that sort of thing, and you're going to market your company and you can't talk to somebody, but all you can leave them is the one sheet. So you want that sheet to have enough information on there so that way and have it be inviting. So that way it's to the point, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it looks good, to the eye, and that you don't want it to be too cluttered. But just so that if you're not there, does that make sense?
Makes sense. I think you cut out on the last part, but I guess so. When someone sends you their EPK, right? And I guess let's even go back into normal times. What would be the things that you would actually be looking for? Like, highlight maybe 2 to 3 things that you would be looking for that would make you want to invest in artist A over artist B.
Okay, so that goes back to my philosophy on the three. So it's a power of three, man. So I always say if your music is quality and your consistency is there, so that means you're consistently making these hits. Uh, and you have your niche. So it's something that you do different, something that's going to make you stand out. If you can have those three things together, man, the world's yours.
So when you're, if it's a local act, a lot of times local acts or a little bit unsigned, let's say unsigned, whatever, they are a little bit hesitant. I know because I've been in that situation where I don't know exactly what to do to approach the promoter or the venue owner. What is the main thing like that needs to be popping for you before someone approaches you or another promoter or a venue owner?
Man, I think you just got to have the right attitude, man. You can't be scared. Don't be, intimidated by anybody, man. You just got to put your best foot forward. Be confident in yourself and just make the move because nobody's gonna do it for you. So I think that confidence has just got to be there when your first step. So you're just like, this is me. This is what I'm looking to do. I'd like to be on this show. Any shows that you have available, here's my electronic press kit. I can email it to you. That sort of thing. Here's my Instagram, my social medias. Just let people see you and see what you're doing.
So the big elephant in the room, of course, is that right now we're in the time period where the 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 landscape as like live shows as we know it is kind of changed. do you think it's going to go back to how it was before? And I guess let's think about like two scenarios, right? So if it goes back to how it was right before, which is pack shows where it's actual live experience, and then the other alternative thing that we'd be thinking about is like what happens if things don't return to normal? What should the plan be for both? Like in your opinion, you're coming from a level of expertise. How should an artist be preparing for both of those scenarios, if that makes sense?
Man, that's a good question. That's a difficult question to answer. I'm gonna say I think shows may go back into a normal sense of that. Eventually, you'll be able to be at a show, possibly masks, but probably not if as long as this the vaccinations going through and the herd immunity actually takes place. I think that's going to be the main thing. But I also know that with these vaccination cards, man, they really want you to be carrying that around so that way that's your proof. So I feel like they're really going to start checking you like as if that's an ID to get in. So that way they are having safe events.
And so in
I
that
forget
case,
what the second part.
so in that case, that would just be the same thing that they've always done, which is have quality music, quality sounds, whatever. Because that would be basically the old way of performing. But what about if nothing? What if there are no live shows? What would you say an artist needs to be doing? Because right now, I mean, it's hard to break through on Spotify. It's hard to break through on social media. The live show used to be where you made those connections. So, like, what is the new move? I have some ideas, but I want to hear yours first, and then I'll share some things I would think.
Okay. Well, I know what you're thinking right now. So that's one. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But to be a little bit different than that, I think one, you got to be creative in your content. So it may involve you getting on a TikTok or creating TikToks or creating a character or creating a show. Whatever you got to do, man, just to put yourself out there because this is a different time and most people can't be anywhere. So I think you got to put yourself there.
So I was thinking like, Mark, what's his name? Mark Riblet. Is that how you say it? I don't know how to pronounce it, but he does
Yeah.
the live
Oh yeah.
the live shows. Well, it's a live stream, but he has like thousands of people on the live stream, and it's literally like a whole freestyle. And I know you brought it to my attention, but he was doing like the drive-in concerts.
Yes.
Do you think that has legs in the future, that actual drive-in concerts will be like, the new wave? And should that be something that like up and coming artists, unsigned guys, content creators, should they be looking to repurpose, their live show to fit like a drive-in experience?
Man, yeah, actually I do. I think you got to be creative and think outside the box, but also at this time, if you really aren't doing anything to help yourself, man, like I said, man, nobody else will. So, be creative, put yourself out there. If you do get a chance, I don't know if we're talking about drive-through shows.
Yeah, like
in
the actual
drive-through.
drive-throughs. So, he had like, the old school, I guess, drive-through menus, drive-through movies. He's doing like a concert.
Oh yeah,
and you like put the old
the drive-in.
Yeah, it's a drive-in.
It's a
So it's a
drive-in.
drive-in. Did I say drive-through?
Yeah, I was like drive-through. I'm like, is this
McDonald's.
something I don't know?
Like
I really wasn't
so how
sure.
if you want to serve them a burger and the artist wants to serve food, but I said that wrong. Drive-in concerts. Do you think that has legs in the future?
Man, I actually do, and especially in this sense, man, where it's like you got a social distance. I think you come in your car. You probably the best way of being in a big group would probably be parking next to each other. But I'm not sure if you would buy each single space or how they would do that in terms of tickets. But I think you'd pay for the carload and you can have as many people in there and, have your own party per se. So I think that's actually cool. And I really do like that idea.
Now, as a promoter, is that something that you would invest in for an up and comer? Would you risk your money on it, or is it contingent of who it is and what kind of buzz
Oh
they got
yeah.
going?
Yeah. I think it's got to be the buzz, but if you're talking about which level of artist are we?
So let's say like an unknown, because a lot of people who are going to be watching this or listening to it, nobody may know who they are. They may be the next, whoever. They may be the next big thing, but they're just unknown right now. We've seen that happen so many times. But what if you're just like totally unknown? Would that be something that you need to spend your time working on? Is figuring out how to tune up like a drive-in experience, because I guess the one thing that would be working against you, as all artists who are just coming up, would be the financial piece of the puzzle. So how I guess the logistics of even how you would put on a live experience that could reach the cars. Now, it's one thing if you're just an excellent performer and you're just going into a regular show, you can rock the house. But I'm assuming that you got to be going hard if it's just like a drive-in concert. And so would that be something that you recommended for like unsigned, hardly known, performers or artists?
Well, yeah, I think they should. Oh, yeah, now I know where I was going back with that. Yeah, I definitely think they should try to get on that. So, it could be as easy as finding your local show, finding the drive-ins that are doing that, finding the promoters that are putting on these events and contacting them and giving them your EPK or your music so that way you can get put on that show. Now, if we're talking about something else where you are an up-and-coming artist and you want to put yourself on with somebody else, then I think that's your other route. I don't necessarily know. I would.
So you're saying like contact the whoever's touring, because there's been a few people doing this drive-in thing. So contact their tour manager, whoever management, try to get on old school way. You be their opener and get on that
Right.
way. Okay.
Yes, or you would go, man, I can't give away too much sauce, bro. Like I was just about to do it, and I was like, nah, because then well, you know what, man? I guess that's the point of this class,
Give the
right?
sauce. Give the sauce away.
All right, man. So the sauce would be, if you're serious about this and you're an artist and you're really trying to get your buzz, you would want to contact the show promoter or whoever's routing that tour and tell them you want a date. And you look at the calendar, right? And you see when they're going to be in through your state. And you kind of look at the cities that are around it. Now, if you're from a really small town, I don't really advise that because you got to make sure you have the demographics of the people that are actually come to that show. So it might be worth going to a bigger city at that point and maybe teaming up with some promoters there and splitting the bill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
So that way you're also investing your time, but at the end of the day, you want to make money too. So off the show itself. So hey,
you're
man,
saying even like let's bootstrap it and partner in actually promoting the show and putting yourself on. So it's an investment in yourself as well as you're making money off of those ticket sales, and it gives you more incentive to try to push the show, etc.
absolutely.
Right. Hey, so the thing, me, I'm a big fan of the Mark Riblet. I don't know how to say his name, but Mark.
I don't
Let's
know
just call
either.
him Mark. So he has this live show, right? And it's a live stream, and basically from the confines of his home, he jams out. It's just like you're tuned in to a jam session. This dude has a bathrobe on. It looks crazy, but I think it works. Is that something more artists should be adopting? Given the fact that you could put your Cash App right there, you could put a paywall up with like Patreon or anything like something like that. You could put a paywall up so that you maybe even selling tickets. So $1, $2 tickets, but hey, you get $1 from 5,000 viewers. That's $5,000 that you just put in your pocket. Or if you get enough Cash App donations, that kind of changes the landscape financially. Would that be an area that you say, hey, if you're a new artist, you have no buzz, no nothing, okay, but you got a small core group that can spread the word about you, and you're entertaining to watch live? Is that something they should be doing? I personally would say yes. You know,
Hey,
I,
I think so, but not everybody has that. That's what I said earlier. You got to be creative. So yeah, if you're going to create a show, I mean, he's got it because he plays all those instruments and he's crazy and he's doing it on that extra level to where some guys just rap on beats. So I guess find your way, man. You got to find your niche and how you're getting it in because like I said, man, the creative ones that are out there doing it totally different are the ones getting noticed. So make some interesting content that people want to watch.
so I got to ask you, like, do you think that the days of like Eventbrite ticket sales, are those days long gone? Do you think this whole thing has exposed, something different that we're about to see?
Man, you know what? I honestly do. And it all comes down to like just the forms of entertainment and just everything is so evolving that just think about TikTok, for instance. Like now you got comedians on there, you got artists, you got dancers, you got moms, dads, you got, I mean, it's just so crazy, but that's the platform that are people, have taken. I even saw this good example of this. One of my DJ friends, him and his roommate do these comedy sketches, on their stories, and they got a decent amount of followers. So then they have their Cash App on there, and they're like, "Hey, if this is funny to you, just donate $1 or something." And people will actually be donating $5, $10, $20, all this stuff. I'm like, man, these kids are just making some side money just with his roommate being like, "Hey, you want to do a skit?" And then they
Right.
put it on the story, and then somebody sending them money.
The thing that I think is like this the wild wild west in terms of like being able to do whatever you want to. I really think that like you got to start developing something to where you you got basically a direct contact with the end user or the customer, the fan, so that you don't have to go outside. So there's a lot of people who are like bedroom artists. You got the whole bedroom pop movement. That's literally kids making music in their bedroom. So my thing is like develop that live show to fit inside of your bedroom and start going ham and just don't let up. I think it's like a real deal where if you can get entertaining enough, people will tune in and they might donate $1. They might donate 50 cents, whatever the case may be. That's $1 more. And I think the overhead costs. Now you got more expertise than I do, but I think we can both agree that in terms of going out and performing in front of actual people, the overhead is a lot more, right? Because you have to pay for the
Oh yeah.
sound. You gotta make sure that if it's at a venue where there's drinks being served, that the bar is making money and all of that. It takes all of that out of the equation, and you can actually just be straight up making money. You own the ticket sales. You're able to do all of that yourself. And so I feel
Yeah.
like everybody that's listening to this right now, if you're listening and watching, start repurposing your content and your songs so that it is a live show medium. I think that's the direction that we're going to go through. I think that makes you basically recession proof, if you want to say, disease proof, disaster proof, because we all know that if something comes where you can't go outside, you're going to look to what content creator or what artist is putting out that content, and you're going to watch that. So if you're already in a position where you're entertaining, it makes it that much easier. So real quick, I'm gonna put up the so we have Music Mondays that we do. So are you the next big thing, the next big star? Ooh, excuse me. If you are, or if you know someone who is, go ahead and shoot us an email. Submit to weareindiekid@gmail.com. We want links only. So if you're one of these unknowns right now, you got access to a top promoter and you got access to get your stuff heard on a different platform. So again, if you know someone, if you are that person, make sure you submit 3 links only. Your best 3 links is what I would say. So on the before we
Are
get out of
we
here,
are we making this like a submission contest so that way, or what are we doing with this, man? Because now I'm like, oh, wow, I'm like, hey, because I'm like, all right, we can give them access to some Texas stops, you know what I'm saying? A possible Texas college run. I mean, what are we doing with these kids? You know what I'm saying?
You are the actual promoter, so this is why I say,
yeah,
Indie Kid, this is, you have live and direct access. It's not just, 2 talking heads. You have someone who's actually doing it, someone who's done it. So if I was you, I would be submitting to just get my stuff placed in front. And then what the worst case is, you're featured on the pod and somebody else hears your name. It's all about developing one fan at a time. So
you know what?
I mean,
Hey, it could be an Indie Kid mix.
The Indie Kid. Oh, you know what? It could be the Indie Kid tour.
Yeah.
The Indie Kid live show tour. That could be coming. So just make sure that
not only that, but yeah, man. No, I think it could make a playlist. I think you could do an Indie Kid playlist and make the first volume. I don't know, man. Hey, we could do a lot of stuff with this. So
make sure you send
you up.
So the top 3. So the if I had to give you one piece of advice in the COVID era right now, repurpose your live show so that it is live streamable and start making money off of your live show. Start performing in front of people. You'd be surprised. There are a lot of things that, can pop off just with the power of the internet. The last thing, there's one thing. I don't want to give sauce away on this one because we have an educational video coming up about this. But you're going to have to watch our content on virtual artist and what you need to be doing to position yourself for the new virtual artist economy. So that is coming up, but you're going to have to make sure that you're tuning in to all of the videos and all of that. So the promoter that is the best around, best in the biz.
Oh yeah. Hey, you said it, man.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
So, hey, if you had to give, I guess, one piece of advice before we sign off the pod, man, like, what should they give up on live shows? Keep going. What's your 2 cents?
Man, I think you always gotta. I think you gotta keep preparing. So, like we were saying, if you're gonna go ahead and create a live show, make it, record it, put it on live, put it on the stream, and even if you're just terrible and you're just trying to rehearse, man, put it out there so that way you can just progressively get better and you're doing it in front of people all the time. So that way when you get on stage or you get in front of people, you at least have somewhat known what you're doing or know what it feels like or have at least practiced it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, class is dismissed. Remember, this is Indie Kid University, where the cost of tuition is just ambition. I'm Kevin Jack. This is Anthony Fava. Hey,
the dean.
Hit us up.
Hey,
hit us
up. I think I'm the dean.
The dean.
Yeah.
the dean of admission. All right, Indie Kids, we'll see y'all on the other side, man. Peace.